convening leaders to reshape economies through tourism.
Yeah.
That's what World Tourism Forum Institute does.
Yeah.
Why do you think tourism is worth focusing on? Like, what advantages does it have compared to other spheres of economy?
Tourism has lots of pillars that combine together. Hospitality, aviation, gastronomy, culture, infrastructure, aviation. These are some arts and culture, especially handcrafts. So these are some of the combinations that all bring together to the tourism. We give importance to the tourism because tourism is peace, tourism is investment, tourism is infrastructure. It means that tourism brings everything together. That's why, as you said at the first of the conversation, tourism, the reshaping the economies. That's the most important pillar in the economies. And also, you saw that the UNW tourism reports is showing that tourism is creating over than 15% of all world's GDP. It means that on the street you saw all 100 people, 15 of them is getting paid through tourism.
How does your organization help to attract investments in the field of tourism and hospitality?
Actually, as WTFI, we are working as an investment arm for the countries. We are inviting all the investors to the countries that we agree on. But of course, there are some certain requirements that we work on that or that we develop together. One of them is the visa policy, open visa policy. We focus on the open visa policy because when you block the visas, so how you expect the investors will come. So this is the most important thing that we focus. The second one is the security. If you eliminate the security risk, so the investor will come. The third one is the bureaucracy. So that we face in many countries, the bureaucracy is the main problem because the investor wants to reach up, investor wants to go up. But what I see in Armenia, thanks to the Prime Minister and thanks to Minister of Economy, so they are very strict and they are very open to bring the investments to the Armenia. That's why Armenia has a lot of potential if I compare where we visit before. But the thing is, the most important is how we evolve this potential to the reality. We can see this easiest example over of us is the Georgia. If you come back, the 6-7 years ago, there was a small tourist increase in Georgia, but now Georgia is one of the leading in the destination in the region. So Armenia has a rich culture, Armenia has a rich gastronomy, and the hotels that you have here is amazing, and the service is amazing. So what is needed? Only needed to bring in the tourists. So I think very soon you will see as Armenia a tourist boom. It will happen very soon, what I see.
Okay, what Georgia is doing that Armenia is not?
So actually, what I can tell you, it's the most important thing is the start. So when you start it, it's grow automatically. It's not like you do it or not. But Armenia is it already, especially when I see the visits of the Prime Minister, when I see the speech of the Prime Minister. Prime Minister is saying that peace building through tourism. So this is very important. Especially when the leadership is decide to make something happen, I'm sure it's happening, what I see. And thanks to the Prime Minister, he is a very visionary leader. And he is pushing the Armenia to be on the right track on the tourism side, tourism map in the world. So if we compare to the other destinations, what they did before, they did a lot of marketing and promotion. So what I see today, there is no mobility issue to Armenia. So from GCC, all the flights are coming here. From Qatar, from UAE, from Kuwait, Saudi, in Europe. All destinations are flying here. So I'm sure very soon Armenia will start the tourist boom. But the most important thing on this, tourist boom will happen. But the most important thing is sustainability. So it's most important thing not to consume the product at once. It means that not to consume the environment, not to consume the staff empowerment. The people who is working inside. So it have to be all synchronized. So we see a lot of samples, the consumption samples. It's a bad consumption samples, especially in the Mediterranean, because it's a over tourism, and then they only construct, but they don't think how to preserve the nature. But when you come the result, it's making the problem for them.
You mentioned several pillars for attracting investment in the tourism field, like the security thing, the bureaucracy, and so on. In your opinion, at the moment, how does Armenia score in those fields?
What I see, if you score the Armenia through 10, so I can say 10 to 9. So because always 1% is have to be done. Okay, this 1% have to be, the developed. This is not for the, this 1% have to be developed always. So because it's a state like a human, it's a mechanism. So how the human being is growing up, getting educated, like this is the state's policy. I just want to give one sample. One of country that we are working in Africa. So I closely work with the president of the country 2 years time. So when I go to country, even entering the country, I enter with the one paper. There was no visa. There was no tourist visa to the country. So we work with the foreign minister, we work with the president to structure how the tourism happened. But now, after our works and after our study, now the country is almost receiving the 3 million tourists yearly, but from 0 to 3 million. So it's a big score. And now they all change their aircraft because they have a national carrier. And also, for example, just one branding is very important. It's a small things, but very important. If you put your local name on your plane, nobody can understand. But we change it, okay, it's basic. Just change the name with the international standards. Now it's one of the famous airline in Africa. So these are some small things, small touches have to be done to penetrate the market, what I see. But as I sum, when we come to the Armenia, the gastronomy is the key to promote Armenia, and the culture is the key to promote Armenia. Also, especially for the winters, what I see from GCC, from Gulf countries, Armenia is receiving lots of tourists, especially for the ski resorts.
What other things do you think Armenia should really do to become more attractive?
Yeah, to be more attractive, especially on the tourism perspective, it has to be visible on the global arena. It means that what I only can say to the officials, Armenia has to be more and more visible on the especially tourism shows, especially the tourism events internationally, and of course it has to be, what we propose for the governments, not only for the Armenia. So if you are on the ground, if you are on the table, you can get it. If you are not on the table, somebody will fill it out. Because if you look at the macro tourism, we think that we are unique, but what I see in my professional career, especially in Africa, so okay, the same sand, the same sea, the same gastronomy, but two different countries. So if we are not in the table, the other is in the table. So it's very easy. So the key players are very easy. Especially for Armenia, is the main key player is the GCC and Europe. So it has to be more and more promoted in the region. There is one successful model, for example, now in Albania. You can see Albania last year received 13 million tourists, and it's a tourism boom. Albania, Tirana. So for what? Because they decide is an aggressive tourism promotion. That's it.
How did they do that?
They do that. Actually, they have been in all the big events. They have been, especially at the state level. They have been presented, and then they have been as the speaker, as a attendee, this is important because the people want to see the leadership. This is the key important things. But I'm sure Armenia is going to do also what I see, because the most important thing now is the time to invest for Armenia and time to come to the Armenia, what I see.
You also mentioned sustainability.
Yeah.
What can Armenia do to make its hospitality sphere more sustainable, if we can say so?
So sustainability, actually, on my perspective, it's very important to working with the local. For example, if you are a 5-star hotel, if you are providing your products from the local farmers, it's the most important thing that you are creating the sustainability. Also, it's very important the construction. When you are constructing the new hotels, when you are or opening the empty space to the touristic destination, it's very important that you focus and design all these things is a sustainable. Because
like energy efficient,
energy
and so
efficiency, the water, so all these things, the green. So okay, when you are destroying something, you have to create also something. So this is the mindset have to be. Otherwise, there will be tourism boom in 20 years, 30 years, maybe 40 years. After 30 years, the destination will start to suffer. What I see the samples especially in Mediterranean.
Most things we discussed depend on, the government.
Yeah.
Should be dealt with on the governmental level.
Yeah.
But what can businessmen and entrepreneurs in the sphere of hospitality and tourism do?
Yeah, it's a good question, especially for the entrepreneurs and the hospitality. So everybody focus on the investment. But the people have to understand that the investment come when you do, especially locally invest first. Because when you do the local investment first, then the international will follow that. Mm-hmm. So this is the key pillar, especially for entrepreneurs. I said in the tourism, so don't be afraid to open one place. In a restaurant or in an entertainment place, get it open. Because when you get it open, when you get the tourist, after then it will boom again and it will come again. So this is my philosophy, especially the destinations like, the developing destinations like Armenia. So I'm sure investing is the key pillar. But as an investor, if you focus everything to become through the government, it will not work also. Mm-hmm. So also the investors have to put their hands, something to achieve, to build up the economy, to build up the country. This is the most important thing.
Is there anything else you would like to add on this topic?
Yeah, I can tell that especially this is the most important thing what I see in Armenia. As I said you, the key message from my side is like the Prime Minister message. Peace with tourism, peace through tourism. So this is the most important thing. So tourism brings stability, tourism brings peace, tourism brings investment, and tourism brings cultural exchange. So when my family come here, after then they know the Armenia. When the other tourists are coming, after then they know the Armenia. It's not only the Armenia, this is the key message of the tourism. So when the people are traveling, they know the destination. So this is the key message from me, to the people of Armenia.
Does tourism bring peace, or does peace bring tourism?
No, both of them, because you cannot, say like one will happen or the other will leave. For example, I just want to give some samples. In the different parts of the world, of course, there can be instability. There can be the security issues. But the most important thing is when it's done again, the life is continued. So we have to continue our life, we have to continue our business, we have to continue our, the old stuff. For example, there is a security problem in all parts of the world. You cannot say like this part or the other part. Can you imagine that? In the eve of New Year, there are lots of some troubles, or in Europe are happening. This can be, or in any part of the world, in the America or in the Asia or in Middle East, everywhere. But the most important thing is how you drive the tourism. If you drive the tourism smooth, so of course always there is an up and down. But the most important thing is if you look the big picture, if you are 80%, 90%, filling with the tourism, it's perfect.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you. Thank you again.